I don't have a problem with psychology. I think psychology is a good thing. What I have a problem with is psychiatric medication. If your son is ADHD or ADD, it's probably just because he's a teenager. It has nothing to do with a mental disease. The fact of the matter is, some people can't handle their own medication. My last relationship was destroyed because I couldn't handle my medication. It turned me into a completely different person. That's the truth. What statistics say and what reality is completely different. Those numbers are fabricated. A rose has its thorns, and wedding veils it's worn, laid on caskets and in baskets, given to someone in the past who never asked, but smiled in the glow of a moonlight path. Under its petals we keep warm, a shelter from the storm. With its beauty we adorn, but are pricked by its very thorns. If Cupid had a gun, we'd be done, 'cause love kills like a sniper in the sun. A broken heart is never quick to mend, so we lash out with hatred instead. Like a poor man starving for bread, we still seek the warmth of another's bed. When it's all said and done, we say we're in lonely, but never in love. My point may be made, every word and every phrase, written on the stem of a lover's grave, and left in my mind to decay, but stays like a thorn buried away, engraved on a picture frame. So lay my head down and hit play. My Rolodex is on display. Every memory has its way to stay planted and saved for a rainy day. If given the choice, I would choose to plant a rose with you, and to ignore the thorns of abuse that a lover tends to use. I'll smile politely and pretend that the mental anguish I felt then was my own creation instead of a doctor who likes to fuck with people's heads. For the record, I'm against medication. It's prescribed by those who view kindness as a hypomanic sensation. If companies had its way, we'd be turned into drug zombies this very day. With that I say, there are days where I would like to end it in every way, but the beauty of a simple flower shows the power of life is greater than any thug who carries a knife. I know now I cannot pretend. Every beginning has its end. A touch of another's hand marks the soul of every woman and man. All hair turns to gray, and every eye fades away. In the end, nothing gold can stay. All the roses have its thorns, and wedding veils are worn, but still we look for beauty to adorn. Aim the sight, count to 3, pull the trigger at the lead. Blue's my shirt, my blood's red, like the bodies laid to rest. Close their eyes to forget, a canyon for a grave was made. Under an altar the wounded wait, hard to ignore the need for war. Counting bullets, keeping score, a shirt they wore when they fell, protecting them from the leaded hail. To the ghost one danced that day, as I smashed in his brains. With his blood his braids were stained, no exception, mother, child. Frozen statues in the wild, carved with lead and steel, an image I made real on the plains under the frozen sun. Death is what I become, certain patterns to lay waste, many ways to calculate. Loss of life the statistics made. War is the muse of the modern age, and all the while time's begun to clear the memory of a wound once done. Where they sat on bended knees, now tents burn like the dying trees. In my mind, filled with hate, feeding on the youth now slain. The need to kill becomes a rage, 1,000 ways to annihilate. Blame the music, blame the weed, blame the images on TV. Look in the mirror and you will find it's all of us that have these traits. To kill a man, to kill a race, and justify the ghost of hate, 1,000 ways to annihilate. Blame the music, blame the weed, blame the images on TV. Look in the mirror and you will find it's all of us that have these traits. To kill a man, to kill a race, and justify the ghost of hate. Rape their daughters, rape their wives, blood and soil through racial pride. Unreachable goal, carved in clay, the stories as old as the human race. To take a life, to live on fear, tell the world the end is near. Blame another for past mistakes, history is written on the stones of graves. Blame a race, it's easy to hate, but don't blame me for a genocide. To start a war, it takes a tribe. In every race the monster lies. When the clock begins to chime, death is truly colorblind. Teach Teach a monkey to read and write, train a lion to dance in time. But in mind the jungle lies, from sticks and stones to predator drones. Handicaps our way of growth. Free will is our greatest strength, to shed our pain, to fight our fate. When love has lost its cutting edge, free will's the arrow shot instead. We choose our paths based on lies instead of what we feel is right. We let those who know us least tell us what to feel and think. When our hatred is exposed, we're easier to be controlled. Whether from the Balkan states or to Iraq, where guns still rage, an easy answer to a complex game. We only have ourselves to blame. Blame the music, blame the weed, blame the images on TV. Look in the mirror and you will find it's all of us that have these traits. To kill a man, to kill a race, and justify the ghost of hate. 1,000 ways to annihilate. Blame the music, blame the weed, blame the images on TV. Look in the mirror and you will find it's all of us that have these traits. To kill a man, to kill a race, and justify the ghost of hate. 1,000 ways to annihilate. Born in 92, I was already singing the blues. Don't believe me, got my scars to prove. No different than one of my friends, a miracle child then. What I try to reach is an apex, a peak, where others rather smoke weed and let their dreams die beneath their feet. They know from cradle to grave, many will never leave this place. It's hard to break free when that shit's in your face, but I still believe in these memories I carry with me. Friends and family, loves that would never be. All the shooting stars I've saved in hopes one day they'll pay. A promise to myself I'll never waste away. Life's too short to live day by day. 1,000 memories are better than a night I can't remember. Sunsets viewed from my fender, throwing rocks in abandoned lots, blasting hip-hop non-stop on the patio of Antony's block. R&B never meant so much to me. When we sing this melody, the world becomes free. All in harmony, no cloud will cover me. A silver lining I wish to see. No matter how much you disrespect me, I'll still be on my feet, forever carrying on, forever writing songs. Being restless, it's difficult to stay. Home is where my heart is, but my heart's away. When I leave this place, please don't be afraid. Two people have a tendency to drift away, but gravity has a way to collide us every day. So let's drive on with our stereo on, blast our favorite songs to the coming dawn. Let me spread your wings, high bird, you sing to the soul in me. Life's no tragedy, even though I feel 53. This journey is an odyssey. Maybe being lost helps find our way. I'll follow my path and see where it goes. What's around the corner, no one ever knows. My dreams are the open road, audience applause with my microphone drawn, shouting my favorite songs I fight on. I'm not gonna lie, it's true I fantasize about castles in the sky, gold jets, women with nice thighs. But it's easy to realize the wealth we are drawn is a spray on that burns off like dew before the coming dawn. If you offer me wealth to fit in the mold, I'd say your soul's been sold to a bank account forever on hold. Red Nissan truck 86 turned pink by the dust. Versace looks at my interior in wanderlust. Red carpet must envy a Lincoln luxury line. Every Chrysler bows down in due time. Four shifts in reverse, who needs any more? My foot goes straight through the floor. Coffee stains are chic and physique. Gucci and Prada try to emulate these. Pioneer stereo with only FM lets me hear what's across the land. I lie, I do a satellite. I can listen to one channel all night. Others have warrants by the FBI, but the EPA watches when I drive. If you wanna cuddle and get cute, my flatbed's got room for two. It's romantic when your day involves the car mechanic. AAA's got my number saved, they go out of business if I didn't pay. On a first name basis, how I play the operator, careful. Got a little bit of road rage, everybody knows this traffic's insane. Gaslights always on, killing the fatigue with nicotine and caffeine. get me. A car crash may be the ending. I know I'm tripping when reality doesn't faze me. Speaking in tongues on the stereo lets me know if I'm good to go. Someone pinch me, I think I'm fading fast. Schizophrenic, I have none, yet I see a man of light walking past. Driving north with the headlights on, fog from another dimension. Evil intention, who knows? Just keep driving slow. If I stop, my guts may be splattered on the stereo. Freddy Krueger fantasies, not what I wanna be. Furthermore, red pavement scares me. The DMV succeeds in making students drive like old grannies. Anyways, many say the dent on my sides will fly. Ask any lady walking by. They love a man whose ride's more than a decade behind. Call Japan, tell them they need to fix this death trap tin can. Please put the digits in a language I can understand. No, I'm not gonna buy a new car. I'm not waiting for a transplanted heart. Send the parts, it's less expensive to fix. Asked my mechanic, don't fool me with your foreign antics. American I may be, but I ain't dumb, son. Walking in the fields of Watsonville, a place that you know that's got no thrills. Thought about gods and stars and men from Mars. Next thing you know, I was in a nice neighborhood, a place far away from the inner city hood. Then I heard, hey, yo, what's your name? Turn around so I can see your face. And I said, I is Metatronic, going supersonic. Blow your mind open, cause it's chronic. And if you think my voice is enchanting, better believe I'll make you start dancing. Walking away, put my keys on a chain. Don't ask me why I reacted this way. Maybe I didn't take my pills that day, but thinking back, I was looking for a fight. Wanted to make them see white light. Maybe I like the adrenaline rush, or maybe I like the smell of blood. Murder on my mind, murder on my mind. I got these dead beats wasting all my time. Murder on my mind, murder on my mind. I got these dead beats. Flip the switch in my brain to insane, crazier than the clown who gives pain. If killing was a hobby, I know a few I would choose. Some don't admit it, just a matter of leaving clues. Think about it, one less idiot on the block with a Glock. One less bitch with a cell whose car doesn't stop. Clear and decimate the area, player. Molotov cocktail for bitching out the waiter. Murder on my mind, murder on my mind. I got these dead beats wasting all my time. Murder on my mind, murder on my mind. I got these dead beats. I confess to profess, red looks good in a white dress, better than a bulletproof vest. Man in the blue, I see you. Keep an eye on the others who don't have a clue. In theory, I'm a nice guy, but deep down there's a monster inside. Others may hide behind a desk in the sky, thinking that the jungle's a lie. But I recognize my animal side. Fool me once, I'll smile polite. Fool me twice is a fool's device. Fool me thrice, I'll send you to your ancestors in paradise. Dragonfly flying so high disappears in the sky with a wink of an eye. Dragonfly, teach me to cry with your mind. Wings in my hands, I can try. Dragonfly, to fly so low you soar. A feather of a bird will never know the places you go. Dragonfly, secretly you hide in the waters to disguise your places in the sky. Dragonfly, you fly. Quietly she sings on her song, beautiful as bird song. On the wings of hope she floats, keeping time, a drummer of a natural rhyme. You define the music of your kind. Dragonfly, you fly. Anomaly it seems on an autumn breeze. Her wings touch me, now I see possibility. Dragonfly, tell me why I quantify and mesmerized by the way you fly. Is jealousy so equally a part of me? I try to replicate your beauty, your speed, your wings with machines. In sleep I hide, in my dreams I fly at such great heights we could never die. If I could stay asleep and drift away, I wouldn't wake to see the day. Dragonfly, take me away. Is reality too much for me that I daydream? Escape into my own thoughts of make-believe. Why you sing to me, it's okay to be free. Live your own lives, block the world outside. If the world wasn't fucked up, none of us would hide or fight. Drift away through the day like a moth to the flame. Peace of mind attained across the lake. I wait for my own mortality to reveal to me everything. Dragonfly, show to me I'm still free to fly amongst the trees and retain my own individuality. Dream state I will never place. When I shut my eyes, I feel I'm still awake. Dragonfly, can you tell me why I choose a life without simplicity, which forces me to wish for fantasy, wishful thinking till the end. But until then, quietly I sit on the ground, hearing your sound, wishing I could be free to fly as the dragonfly.
What's the significance of the study?
Well, it's important because the majority, if not all, of previous MDMA studies have looked at samples of
indigo, purple hues on your shoes, so many shades of blue. How can you lose? Indigo fits you. Brown eyes, bleach blonde hair, fades to black. No one ever seems to care. Leather bootstraps go tap 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 on linoleum floors as you walk on past. In two shades of deeper blue, in the mood I do crave you. Ultraviolet waves on the stage, silhouetted shades of gray. No passing phase can relate the way two bodies integrate. Two strands of DNA in three tones. Energy flows unknown in the minds of those never living in the past. Indigo will always last, not a care in the world. Indigo laughs in rave, she plays in waves, she lays many grains, she prays to her goddess, her god, her faith, her face. Only to herself can she relate. More guarded than Fort Knox, she's a private drive, gated and locked like a heart-shaped box. She sees the wings in my mind are stuck on rewind, repeated many times. In a cloud I can see between the eyes, but not this time. Green blocked by mahogany. Apparently my attempts of one flesh, one breath become a transparent sea. As glass holds a sea, light splits equally between you and me. Just as a raven's wing, I believed in the beauty of a darkness you can't see. The bastard has been plastered on every street sign. I walk the line and still find ways like a predator to measure my competitor. Catch this in your sale. Ego's not cash on the nail, so don't post bail. My wallet's getting thinner than the plastic on my debit card. A 6-mile walk to the stars, too far. Let me ride away with you on a sea of deeper blue. When indigo touches you, nothing's true. A million years wide, she drives. Indigo collides, trapped in space-time. In her mind, she lies to the snake. She's blind, waiting in line as indigo defines what's divine. Every tie she breaks, every feeling she creates, only color she makes burned in my brain to stay. Down the rabbit hole we go, carefully we tiptoe, never falling, never letting go. She knows diamonds are the rage, she's the queen of spades. All the games she plays, no one knows her ways, but an addict she made. Another paying slave, one dime, one line, $1 sign at a time. No bullets, no fighting, she smiles wide, making up her mind she buys. Blasted through the stereo, her thoughts are like FM, burned out transmission, no thoughts of the end. All her friends say we're free when we're on ecstasy, but we open the door, there's nothing to see. Blinded by our own lies in a clouded state, paranoia ends the mind. It's sad when intelligence starts to die. Hit rewind, roll on a dime, place information in my mind. In the rearview mirror, two eyes staring back in the glow of a muzzle flash. Indigo hits the gas, driving past, city turns red in the aftermath. Eliminating competition pays her position. Love of money's on her mind every time she rides into town. A ghost in the night, licking her wounds in a place out of sight. Under fluorescent light, she tries to sleep, but reality's a dream when paying the price of a dope queen. Millions need to be fed on a daily dose of bread. Still cooling on the floor, she starts work once more. Others are wary of the storm she brings. Worse than Muhammad Ali, her sting. Ties of life are easier to break when what we pay is her favorite shade. On gold she ejaculates, with wealth she masturbates. She engraves her sign on every mind. A junkie is grateful for a good time provided in maternity, said in hypocrisy. It's the principle, not about the money. A tire iron is her best friend. Violence with no end. She'd be lying if she didn't pretend. She takes some pleasure in the way things end. Red lights not her thing. Power's what she needs, more addictive than anything she slings. Beauty is venomous, she takes advantage. Camouflage smile only enhances her modus operandi, would cause her mother to cry if she were alive. Graves don't roll, thankfully, like the customers she bleeds. If she's not careful, she'll be hanging from a tree. At the age of 17, her life's become a Pulp Fiction fantasy. But she's no Samuel L. Jackson. Trailer park concoctions are a daily reaction. Sidestep death again. Immortalized are those despised, a word of wisdom for the blind. A chain is now reclaimed, its prize a slave to those unrecognized. I may write my rhymes in due time, pass the clock, my words a chime. Lock the rhythm of addiction, smell of grease is my affliction. Counting the hours, wishing I could smell the flowers. Plastic guns for our sons, population on the run. Pearls of wisdom from the tweaker, don't ask me, I'm not your teacher. As he breathes in all his ether, green has now become his speaker. Any job I do well, says the man just back from hell. Grey walls are a prison cell, clipping paper, stapler, receiving complaints of a hater. Please remove the staph infection, breach of contract now detected. 4 months later walks the player. In his hands a stack of paper, off the cliffs goes the leaders. Just as humans follow leaders on the ground, a shepherd's crown. Beat the sheep until he's down, leave the carcass to the flies. Let the wolves feast on his hide, the beast has won his final time. Privatized education, wait in line for my prescription. Religion runs procreation, birth a child of regret. Cleanse the stains of emptiness, marry out of loneliness. Pearls of wisdom, an infant's cry, aim a bullet to my mind. My control is one eye, serpent serves the fruits tonight. Blessed black wings crack the sky, freezer burns, tell me why. A good job is so hard to find, deliver goods, come on time, says the fat man and his wife. As the sun fades to the night, the smell of meat begins to reek. Heated oils burns my feet, customers shout from the street. If you're wise, why do you speak? It takes a fool to be complete. I roll my eyes to the sky, asking God, why don't they die? Are humans really just that blind? There was a young man in a small town who fell for every piece of tale that came around. His soul was always ripped up and torn after, and wondered why he couldn't die any faster. So he decided to take a trip to a larger place. Found a girl, there was no mistake. The two were madly in love, or so he thought, 'cause his heart always pounded out her very name. He said they should live together, find a place with a garden where they could love forever. But she lived with her folks and was tied down to her family's hopes. So they parted ways and promised to see one another another day. A halo in the heart of a dream, two stems intertwined at the leaves. Red ribbon in a knot at both ends, casting light where the shadow extends. She talks like him, he dresses like her. A lamp on the stand, she walks in the wind. Days pass by in eternity. The young man's heart beat erratically. In his mind he fucked her passionately, but even that didn't wash away the pain and loneliness he endured every day. Others would walk by, but he turned his head the other way. In his mind he would say her name to remind himself of the promise he made. A halo in the heart of a dream, two stems intertwined at the leaves, red ribbon in a knot at both ends, casting light where the shadow extends. She talks like him, he dresses like her. A lamp on the stand, she walks in the wind. Summer turned the fall, the day finally came when his dreams became all. That evening she met him at the bridge, made it clear he was the only reason she lived. They fell harder for each other and planned to run far away into the setting sun. She found a chunk of paradise away from daddy's gaze. He worked double shifts to pay the rates. For a while everything seemed fine. Every morning she would kiss him goodbye, promising him, "You'll always be mine." But no matter how much she may say it, a bitch is still a bitch, and all a bitch does is tell lies in order to gain sympathy from others whose hearts are like their minds. Little did he realize she was fucking other guys, ones that made her scream with pain. He didn't find out, although he had his doubts, until one day he came home too soon. When he got home to his piece of paradise, he found a man in bed with his wife. She didn't notice him walking through the door, didn't notice her clothing on the floor. She was being fucked too hard to tell. He was standing there watching his personal hell. He closed the door, walked the other way, sat on a bench and felt his heart slowly change. All that was left was a figure in stone, a shell of a man who had lost his home. Every day a child would walk by, placing a rose by his side. The rose would grow up the man's sewn spine, encircling his head in a halo to enshrine his place amongst the ones who had lost to others' lies. A halo in the heart of a dream, two stems intertwined at the leaves, red ribbon in a knot at both ends, casting light where the shadow extends. She talks like him, he dresses like her. A lamp on the stand, she walks in the wind. Facts of electronic inhibition, mass communication, process of elimination. A dead man's gaze, cause of a craze, placate the guilty of an infinite place. So hang your head to one side, watch the mimes pantomime as your future hangs from the neck on a rope outside, swinging on a balance beam somewhere in between the stars and the flesh. No thoughts of death, so vacantly you stare out your window, watching bare bones escape with your friends you knew from the get-go. Dream on, ride on, look for the window with the light on, search for that place we all try to find, talking to a dead man with scars on his side. Nothing to replace the wounds of a long life, striated cuts made by lies, long knives. Even when kissing the cousin of death, the sunlight reminds me of every waking breath. Drip drop goes the tears on my chest, just another one gone, just another touch of flesh. Behind this glass was a light from the flames, only now smoke remains of a fire we lit with our very names. And the voices in my head are saying let it pass, just let it pass. Time reminds us that nothing lasts, let it pass, just let it pass. Time reminds us that nothing lasts. There are times when I'd rather lash out, shoot your memory full of holes and tear it down. Kings have lost their crowns and brides their wedding gowns. Sorry's just a sound for what I did. I'd rather be a dead man. If there was an easy answer, you said it then. Goodbye is just two syllables between friends. Thinking back, I need to let it pass, just let it pass. Time reminds us that nothing lasts. Let it pass, just let it pass. Infinite as the desert, recorded and distorted as a metaphysical river. Take a picture, laminate predict the future, rewind the time, and watch in kaleidoscope minds. Genius I've become, ascend towards the sun, with my molecule done become one. Once a shaman man, Metatronic I am. My voice is heavier than bombs dropped on Japan, unpredictable as Coltrane, my brain God-given as the flame burning in the sun's name. Sphere of a spirit written in pain, no gain. Cold flash of light cutting through the night. White petals held in the palms of a silver sight. Roll the dice, cast twice. Pour a card, gain paper cuts. Lost touch. The feelings in my legs go numb. Mistakes made, scratched out on the page in ink. Burned on a Sunday. Morning news, more blues. Find a different tune. Think of all the things to do. Still feeling low. Lash out on the telephone. Free will. Red fingernails cutting my flesh in a sexual celebration. Inebriation. Behind the wheels in the sun, my engines run. No fear, freaked out, blacked out, be careful, I've bottomed out. Flew too close to the sun, I should have known. Fire burns when you get too close. Some hope in my gyroscope. Cold flash of light in a silicon rope. Sun's rays cutting through the haze like golden feathers touching my face. In the days, halos chip away. Black titles, wax vinyl, pink chains break away. Suicidal tendencies in a touch of rage, can't complain. Broken face down in the mud, no blood. An invisible cuts my eyes shut. Wide awake another day in the cold sun. Foundations of the earth run away with me. Can't you see? I breathe in everything you give me. Suffocated, once hated, blank page on a street lamp once paved will disintegrate and rust away like a metal bird trapped in a tin cage. Can't you see insanity is in me? Everything you do tends to mesmerize me. We are like the stones, never moving yet still changing. Mortal and slowly aging. In increments, time moves into many moods. Never seen until split in two. A crystal lattice in white and green. Closer we look, nothing is what it seems. Supposedly, never trust in what you see. The mind interprets what the eye deceives. Visions of the past become distorted like creatures in the glass. Narrowed down in a microscope. Equate fractions in a book. When it looks, the mind is not subjective. Hate to go blind. When it comes to science, there are sticks in our eyes. Ethnocentric fallacies, what I mean. 3 billion ways to interpret a dream. Distinguish red from green. Contemplating gray scheme. 1,000 generations to conceptualize a night sky. Ask the reasons why. Move forward through a passage in time. The problem's not divine, it's mankind. Whether you believe we come from an ape or some invisible hand made us in the clay. Either way, we create what's learned has a way to stay. Encoded in our DNA, diversify, multiply, quantify concerns with the afterlife. Particle of light through a pyramid scheme. Gravity seen in the shade of an apple tree. Scientific theistic. Party as Dionysus. Primeval stews, what I'll make in you. Procreate in a cave. Instinct, sex slave. Draw it on a wall like we did back in the day. Curiosity mixed with perversity. Back to normality. Survival of the fittest. Banging on like a metronome. Tick tock. Biological clock, irrationality in the brain to sustain the mystery we still crave in the modern age. Split in 3, sacred geometry, path to divinity, perfect idol, holy triangle, going down the golden spiral, measure of 90 degrees, numbers by Fibonacci, radius between mathematics and spirituality, creation of modality, a notion of duality, body, mind, and soul, uneasy to behold, when contemplating golden doors with no metaphor, a figure carved in water blots, described in ink jots, it's amazing what the mind can create. Ancients try to describe why we modernize, knowledge is built on a foundation wide. We calculate the figure 8, a variable to a nameless face. Yet with all we know, we're still like the stones, silently waiting to walk through the unknown. Yet We're still like the stones, silently waiting to walk through the unknown. And yet with all we know, we're still like the stones, silently waiting to walk through the unknown.